Welcome to Podcast on TechNation. This is a series of podcasts focused specifically on the biomedical and HTM industry. Episodes will be added monthly. Listening to each episode is eligible for one CE credit from the ACI. At the conclusion of this episode, you'll be able to access a survey that will appear under this episode's title. You will be able to download your certificate once you submit the survey. Before we begin today's podcast, I'd like to invite you to save the date for our Spring MD Expo. We will be in Las Vegas from April the 7th to the 9th, 2024. So for more information and event details, please visit mdexposhow.com. Podcast on TechNation would like to thank our sponsor, Multi Medical Systems. When you're in the business of protecting the health of patients, you don't have time for malfunctioning medical equipment or dull surgical instruments. You need a reliable partner that can provide expert repair and planned maintenance to ensure you have patient-ready equipment that meets or exceeds OEM guidelines and regulatory requirements. Multi-Medical Systems provides these crucial elements and others such as on-demand temporary biomedical staffing, endoscope and surgical repairs, infusion pump preventative maintenance teams, and equipment sales. For more information, visit multimedicalsystems.com. In this episode, we're joined by Kevin Lynskey, Vice President of Operations at HeroBiz.
Welcome back to another episode of HTM Insider. I'm Sherelle with Multi Medical Systems, and I'm excited to have you back in tune with HTM Insider because today, I have a guest on, and one of the reasons I started with this idea of making this podcast and supported by MMS is the communication and how is the HTM technicians getting to know one another, getting to share information. How are we communicating? How can we do it better in the industry? Well, today we have a new way for you to communicate. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my good friend, Kevin. And Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi, yes, thank you, Sherelle. Thank you very much for having me on the podcast today. My name is Kevin Lynskey, and I've been in the biomed field for close to 19 years now. Originally from the Midwest, Columbus, Ohio area, and I spent the last 9 years in sunny Southern California, doing some work out here. And today we have come to talk to you about our little Discord server that's growing, and want to teach you guys all about it, some of the features you can use, as well as some tips and tricks, and how this might be a big thing to help with communication, collaboration. Meet your colleagues and just build connections within the HTM industry. I think it could be an awesome tool for us.
And I gotta be honest, Kevin, the first time you said Discord to me, I know what the definition is, but I had to Google it to make sure it was still the same definition. And I was a little curious, and I had to go on myself. And I didn't realize that there was a platform. So
Sure.
Let's just talk about what is Discord for some people like my generation who might not be as hip as you, Kevin.
Absolutely, and I get that, and that's one of the things that as we try to get folks of a different generation to adopt technology such as this, it is another app, another thing you have to install on your phone. However, it is very handy. So Discord started as a means of communication for folks playing video games. So I'm a child of the 80s, grew up with Nintendo, Sega Genesis, always played video games. And, I was still rather young when I started to have children, and my boys are 18 and 13 now. So, I play video games with them. And, you go from the crappy Xbox mic to, getting on PCs and very robust computers. Discord was developed to sort of have that lossless communication, without delay, that you could have sort of a party chat, if you will, and it's really grown from there. And a lot of people still think of Discord as, that's for video game chat, video game communication, or things like that. But really, a lot of industries have adopted Discord to build communities. So including your YouTube streamers or folks that stream on Twitch and play video games for a living, build their communities on Discord, but also, professional communities. Stock traders have Discord communities. And during the pandemic, when we're all sitting around at home, us managers and regional managers and things, we don't want to go into the hospitals, but we want to still have a strategy for communicating with our teams. I sort of thought of this as an opportunity to, hey, let's build a community with the Discord. There's all kinds of possibilities we could have to make this thing work. So, that's kind of the background and how it started.
Very cool. So I gotta tell you that I went on. First, I did it on my PC, and then I realized it was actually an app. So I now have the app. I logged in, signed up, and right away I was able to see conversation.
Yep.
So, and there's a lot of hashtags and things that you can look for. So let's talk about signing up first. Do you just go to Discord, and how do you know which app you're looking for, and how do you know how to log on to the HTM industry app?
So absolutely the easiest way to get into the Discord is to get an invite. And there's an invite right on my LinkedIn page. And then, obviously we can post a link to the invite as part of this podcast as well for anyone interested. But you do have to have that invite. When you have the invite, you can click on it on your Apple iOS, Android phone, Windows, etc. It'll take you right to the App Store to download Discord, and it will automatically enter you into the BMET Discord from there once you sign up. It is completely free. It's a non-intrusive application on your phone. And as we'll dig into in a little bit, you can fully customize the notifications to be notified on certain things and not some other things. So for those folks who downloaded it, maybe took a look at it and they're like, oh, well, it's dinging too much. We can show you exactly how to set this up so that you're getting content that's applicable to what you want to see. And on top of that, just to let everyone know as well, one more way that you can find the link. So the Biomed community as well has a Reddit page, and a lot of the computer geeks out there will know what Reddit is. The Reddit page, or the Reddit community, has probably 2,000 to 3,000 members. I am a moderator on that page, but it's a lot, basically that's a website or a forum, and we can do a lot less with the content there, but there is a link on the Reddit page, if you've seen that, for BMETs, to get to the Discord as well.
Yeah, we'll absolutely add the link to this episode and podcast. So if you guys are listening and you're going after that CE credit, or you just want to find the link easily, you can either go to our website or go to TechNation, where it'll be hosted. And if you watch, you get that CE credit, and then you'll also find the link. So Kevin, let's go into, if you're an expert in a field, how could you be of assistance? For instance, I know a lot about endoscopy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can people ping me for questions, or do I have to be always listening? How does that work?
Absolutely. So the Discord was built with many different channels. So for example, I'll just read them off for you. So there's a Biomed channel, diagnostic imaging channel, cybersecurity channel, life science channel, regulatory, service manuals, you name it, we probably have a channel for it. So for someone that has a question in one of those particular fields, right now the Discord has 592 members. So if you go in and ask a question, hopefully, at least what I'm hoping happens, is that someone that's part of the community that's willing to be helpful and friendly picks up that question and says, hey, I know exactly what you're working with or exactly what you're going through. I can help you with this. And they could either answer the question via text, or let's say your colleague is working across town in front of a sterilizer and they can't figure it out. One thing you can do is you can enter into one of the live chat rooms and get on an audio call together. That's sort of a party line. You can directly audio call them right through the app, or you can even go live and stand in front of the device and somebody can say, hey, look at this valve or look at this hose or something like that, be able to help you to troubleshoot. So what my hope is that obviously we grow from 592 members to, thousands of members across the world. We are picking up about 58 members weekly. And then on top of that, not only just log in and check it out, but leave the app running on your phone. use some of the lessons today to customize those notifications. So let's say I want to, in the Biomed channel, I want to be notified every time somebody posts something so I can be helpful and go answer. You can turn on only that notification. So, the big ask today is obviously everyone check it out. Don't be afraid to learn a new technology, but install it, play around with it, go in and ask a question. But most importantly, go in and answer a question. That's how we build a community.
Absolutely. So, this is my first time on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my cell phone here.
Super.
You want to try to call me?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, do I have to have the app open?
You do not have to have the app open.
Okay.
Now, it might not notify you, but if your screen's up, it'll show me calling you.
Okay, I'm ready.
So,
okay, Kevin. So I'm so intrigued about how we can communicate live on this, like not using our cell phones. I don't know. It's just like so crazy to me. So I've got this app, and somehow you're going to communicate with me. Stand by, listeners. We hope this works. I am technically challenged. Let's just put that out there. So, Kevin, are you going to call me, talk to me? How's this going to work?
Yeah, so what we're going to do right now, we're actually going to look at the channel list once you're in the app, and then we're going to scroll down and we're going to find a voice channel. So we have a couple voice channels established.
Okay, I see Steady Group, General, and then the letters AFK.
Correct. So we're going to join General. So click on that.
Okay.
And hit Join Voice. And I should be able to talk to you, and we should hear an echo here of some sort. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Look, folks, it's there.
All right, there we go.
How cool is that?
So if you tap on it again, you can hit the red X to hang up, and you will leave that voice channel.
So if I'm a biomed across the hospital and I want to reach back to the shop or to my buddy because I'm working in a solo shop across the United States that I know that he knows how to fix the sterilizer, we can communicate that way and walk through it and find an answer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
At
so
the touch of a button, you can connect with experts. So you have a ventilator pal across the country, and you're in the middle of nowhere, but you have a Wi-Fi signal. You could go live and show them what you're dealing with, text, chat, whatever you need at the touch of a button.
So all you need is a Wi-Fi signal. That's important, I think. You don't need cell service.
Correct.
Because that's kind of difficult sometimes in a shop and some of the places in the hospital, right?
Absolutely. They usually shove us in the basement, so.
Exactly. Next to the morgue.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to share your screen because
Sure.
I'm new, right? So I want to walk the new people through what it looks like, how to access it, and kind of give us all the info, Kevin.
Absolutely. Okay, so here you should be able to see the Discord screen. This is the PC desktop version.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
I did that today too.
Very good. All right,
All the chats going on.
Absolutely. So let me bring this down here. All right, so when you log into this, you're going to see your channel list on the left-hand side. So if you're a part of different channels, so say you do play some video games with your kids or some other friends, you can have different channels for different interests over here. So depending on how active you are on Discord, you might have a bunch of things here. But the BMET one, obviously, if you hover over it, it says BMET, and it's got a little small picture of an EKG, which distinguishes us as a Biomed server. But once you're in, you can see all the different channels. So again, as I mentioned earlier, water coolers just for general fun stuff. A cool thing that was done today is the bearded Biomed himself, Chase, started a fantasy football league.
Very
so if you're
cool.
looking to play fantasy football, jump in. So we started that today. The Biomed channel is probably the most active channel. That's just for general Biomed chat. You have your diagnostic imaging, cybersecurity, life science, regulatory. One really good one that's pretty active is manual requests. If you have Biomeds all over the country, everyone has their own cache of service manuals, whether online or on a drive somewhere. Let's say you can't find one. There's lots and lots of requests in here. I'm very active in here because I have a ton of stuff from my career. So I will share stuff. And one important story, Actually, I recently started a new role and a new position about 6 weeks ago. And it turns out that one of the technicians that now works for me is active in the Discord. And I've been sharing manuals with him for about a year.
Oh, very
And
cool.
we didn't know each other. So it was kind of funny to catch up with someone in the flesh that was part of the server. So an important one for you, Sherrill, the media page is for folks that want to advertise their channels, either their
Oh,
podcasts. You
nice.
see, Justin is here, very active with his Better Biomed stuff. So always please jump in here, throw your links up. Patient safety, and then we jump down to career stuff. Jobs, looking for work, career advice, certifications, side hustles. We will. There's a lot of people on here that like to do resume review. I've done it myself quite a few times. If people have a resume, they're like, I'm not quite sure. Upload your resume or send it in a direct message to somebody. There's folks here that'll take a look at it, give you some tips. You'll see on there, if you come in and look, there's a lot of interview tips, different stuff like that. Um, and then
How
under,
cool is this? So you're telling me you're getting in one spot, you're getting, hey, I need to fix my ventilator. Can you help me? I'm getting manuals. I'm getting fantasy football. Somebody look at my resume. I can find a job. I can be social. I can meet other people in the industry all in this one spot.
yep, absolutely.
Very
And
cool.
we don't want to forget about the nerds in the room. So we do have a gaming channel. There's obviously a lot of folks that play games and use Discord for that. And then last but not least, what server would be a good server without a memes channel? And there are a lot of very good biomed memes out there that are kind of funny. So those are shared here too. So, basically what we're trying to do is take the funnest parts of the local association meetings. You're part of CMIA, Sherrill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very active in the Orange County one. Sometimes the meetings are a lot of fun. Sometimes they're not. Just depends on the type of meeting. But we're trying to take the best parts of that, which is the communication, the sense of belonging, and the networking, and kind of put it all in one place. And I think the possibilities are really endless with what we could do with this, as long as we can continue to grow and more people adopt it, and most importantly, more people use it.
I think it's excellent, Kevin. You know, it's just like the podcast, using that as a platform, the YouTube channels with Justin, with so many others that have joined the virtual world of sharing information in the HTM industry. I just feel it elevates us. Because once we get to talk to one another, we find so many things that are similar, and we're not isolated, we're not in silos. We're
Yeah.
all in this together, patient care and patient safety, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know, there's probably a good crop of our OEM partners that, might not like what we're doing, but, right to repair, rightly so, is a hot topic. And I feel like, during the pandemic, you had a lot of folks out there that were sort of on their own. And you know as well as I do that the FDA relaxed a lot of things, Joint Commission relaxed a lot of things, but still you had a lot of biomeds out there that didn't have somewhere to turn for help, or didn't have somewhere to turn to find a manual. And although iFixit and some of these places did a wonderful job of keeping up with that, what's better than being able to connect with someone that works for that OEM, or someone that has experience working on that very thing that you just worked on. So, I feel like we're all, the community is all bigger than each and every one of us. And if we want to continue to grow it, we want to bring that to new generations. I think things like this are stuff we have to look at, we have to adopt.
And what a great opportunity for the leaders and the seasoned veteran HTM people out there to be a mentor, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Mentorship is huge, and we've got to grow this industry. Gosh, if you could turn young people on to this, maybe even the high school level, looking at jobs, it might demystify what the HTM, what a BMed is.
Yep, absolutely. As I mentioned, I have an 18-year-old. Everyone is on Discord. They all have it. They all play video games, or they all are part of other communities, whether it be for shoes or, their favorite fast food joint. There's so many different things. But you're right. We need to start attacking younger generations. I'm a biomed by accident, but I'm glad I found this career path. I love it. I love the healthcare. I love the communication. I love being a part of something bigger. And I feel like if you could really bring this to a younger generation and let them to understand, there's schools such as in Southern California here, SCIT, 18 months after high school, I could have a certificate. I could be working for a good company, getting experience, and I could be making good money. Not enough people know about that.
Right.
So,
Yep. There's a lot of great schools across this country. And I think this is a place for them to even advertise, right?
absolutely.
To put their information up, that we're accepting new students.
Yeah, I was going to say absolutely. One of the things I wanted to mention in areas where we want to grow this is, the fact that you can go live and you can host a live channel with a bunch of different people in it. So, you're talking about live demos from OEMs or vendors. Maybe someone could they could run through a PM on a device and do some training here, or an OEM or vendor can showcase a new product. You could schedule something out. Hey, we're going to go live on Discord and do this. Um, I really think that there's a lot of opportunity for folks to get involved, not just the biomeds, and be able to do things educationally and socially on here. So,
Well, I want to applaud you for taking the time and the effort to get this started. I know how that is personally, and I know you want to build it and hope that will come. The field of dreams. This
yeah,
is the HTM field of dreams, is being able to communicate with one another and share ideas outside of a conference setting, because not everybody gets to go to a conference.
that's right.
So I'm so excited about this. I'm ready to, do my avatar and get more involved. Maybe you could add hashtag endoscopy and I could be an expert on there for you.
There you go.
There you go. Surgical services. That's my space. And then you got to leave us with something, Kevin, today. You got to leave us with your wow. Every time we
Sure,
end an episode, we have a word or words of wisdom
sure.
that our listeners can really relate to what the podcast was about today. So what do you have for us, Kevin?
I would say that the number one thing I would say is community. We have to continue to build this community. I mentioned to you earlier that I was listening to one of your podcasts with both Bryant Hawkins and the bearded biomed Chase. That was a very good podcast. But one of the things Chase highlighted on is just the sense of community, and that there are a lot of people out there doing what they can to really grow this community and showcase the different things that biomed is and what we do. I mean, look, he's written a children's book that was amazing. So there's a lot of folks out there doing many things. So I think we can all, get out there, build that sense of community, join your local biomed societies, show up, have some fun, break some bread, share some knowledge. If you don't have a biomed society, start one. There's plenty of companies out there like mine and yours that will probably sponsor that and make sure that gets off the ground. So I would say the word for me is community.
100%. I just worked with Alabama and got Alabama up and going. And it was such a pleasure. It was so heartwarming to go to that first meeting, to
Awesome.
see people getting together. So, yes, join your local biomed associations. Check out Discord. We'll leave the link with you. We'll post it everywhere we can on social media, so it'll be easy to find. And you're probably more hip and cooler than me, so you already know about Discord.
I do want to shout out my mods. So Justin, Jacob, and affectionately known as 1 cubic yard of garlic bread. He's one of my mods. And also, I just wanted to point out that the ladies at TechNation, I have a bone to pick with them because they started that 40 under 40 just a few years too late, in my opinion. So maybe next year they could do a 50 over 40. Huh? There you go.
I like
Me,
that.
me and you on the cover, Cheryl.
That's right. Thank you all for joining us on this episode of HTM Insider. It's just always such a thrill to hear from you and how much you enjoy the podcast and you're listening. We really appreciate you following us. As you know, you can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, TechNation for your CE credits, and we're all over social media. So if you need the link to Discord, you can reach out to Kevin or myself on LinkedIn or by email, and we'll be happy to send it to you. Kevin, thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Kevin, for a great presentation. If you enjoyed today's episode, you might enjoy our ongoing webinar series, Webinar Wednesday. You can find a calendar of upcoming live webinars, as well as an archive of on-demand webinars at webinarwednesday.live. To obtain your certificate for 1 CE credit from the ACI, please remember to complete and submit the survey form located below this podcast title. If you have any questions, you can reach us at webinar@mdpublishing.com.